In Mark 1:19, we're going to learn about another genitive and also two different ways in which Kai can function. Kai probos oligon, Aden, Iakoban, ton tu Zebediah, Kai Ioannein, ton Adelphon autou, Kai autus entoploio, katartidzantas ta dictua. And going on a little bit, I'll come back to that. He saw James, the of Zebedee, we'll come back to that as well, and John, his brother, and those in the boat fixing their nets. Okay, let's look at a couple things here. First of all, what's this? Well, it looks like it's a compound word, right? And if you learned the root properly, this is the form. It never occurs as a single verb, but it's bino. It only occurs as ba. And what is it? Well, it means to go on. But here's some clues. First of all, notice there's no augment. Notice that it's an alpha. And then you're ending, what on earth is that? So if you learn the roots properly, you'd see the ba as from bino. So probino is the verb. There's no augment. What does that tell you? It can't be in the indicative. So the only thing it can be is an aorist participle. And again, you have a sequence of events in narrative, and it's very common to have the first verbal form be an aorist participle, followed by the indicative. It's how the Greeks indicate sequence. So probos is the aorist active participle, nominative singular masculine, of probino. So, and going on a little while, he saw James, the of Zebedee. So this is just not unusual construction in Greek. It's called a genitive of relationship. And what often happens is that the specific nature of the relationship is left out, that word. So it's the goes with Zebedee, the of, and then you just have to figure out what that is. And clearly here it would be huiu. So it's the son of Zebedee. So again, article, then here's your modifier, and then your noun. So the son of Zebedee. These things are very straightforward. In context, we'll let you know what they are. And John, his brother. And the other thing I really wanted to point out was Kai. So there are two uses of Kai. The normal one is called the copulative, and that would just be translated and. So there was James, and there was John, and there were another group of people, the autus, in the boat. Okay, that's one way to do it. Another way that Kai can function is called epexegetical, and that's like saying i.e. So it would be James and John, that is, they were in the boat. They were those who were in the boat. So the question is the autus a third group, or is the Kai epexegetical and it's saying that is, they are in the boat? Now, the thing that's interesting about this is that when you get to the next verse, Mark writes, and immediately he called them, and leaving their father Zebedee, so forth and so on. In other words, there's an autus in verse 20 that clearly refers only to James and John. And so when you have the autus here, contextually it seems to be that the autus is James and John, and the Kai is epexegetical. Of course, Jesus could have been talking to these two individuals, and there were other people in the boat, but it was clear that he was speaking directly to James and John. And so when he called them, James and John, they followed him. But anyway, that's how Kai can function. When it comes to phrasing, I am going to run out of screen space here, so I'll leave some things online. So going on a little further, and again, oligon can be either spatial or temporal, so going on a little further or going on for a little longer in terms of time. He saw two people, and here's what I'm going to do to save a little bit of space. I'm going to put a tab right here so I can line up James and John. James was the son of Zebedee, and John, his brother, and those in the boat. And what were they doing? They were mending their nets. Let's see. But the question here really is this Kai. So maybe that should go on its own line so that we can make it clear. So going on a little further, that should be indented. He saw James, who was James, the son of Zebedee, and he saw John, who was his brother. That is, those in the boat, and others in the boat. And what were they doing in the boat? They were mending their nets. I mean, one thing I like to do is, again, especially when space gets tight, I like to make things parallel this way, just putting tabs and doing it like that. So you can see that you have James, and he's the son of Zebedee, and you have John, and he is his brother. But something along those lines. But the real advantage here of phrasing is that it's forcing you to decide what to do with the Kai. And if there's three groups of people, then you would just put the Kai back here. But doing it this way emphasizes that it is epexegetical.